April 2014, FNX visited the Soboba Band of Luiseno Indian Reservation in Southern California, where hundreds of tribal and community members came together for Avelleka's 5th annual Sexual Assault Awareness Walk.
As Native people across the country, I know that there's a lot of statistics that come out from the boarding schools. You know, that came through assimilation of trying to remove us from the homes and the families. And here we go into something that was never learned, that it never used to be like that on reservations in our culture at all. That's one of the things that I know that everybody is strong and voicing, that was never part of our custom to be able to witness any type of violence in the home.
The reason for for this walk is to bring restoration of tribal sovereignty and safety for Native women and children, and to know that we are the only people in this continent that can point to our history, that we didn't tolerate these types of behaviors of sexual assault, domestic violence with our women or our children. And I know a lot of the programs are geared towards women and children, and a lot of times the men kind of feel left out. But the philosophy is, if you take care of the women and the children, then you're taking care of the men, because the men were once children too.
It's really hard for a Native American woman to even speak of things like this. We're such a closed, it's such a closed and personal issue where shame and everything else comes from.
When you have drugs and you have alcohol, you're bound to have domestic violence. It goes on for generation to generation to generation.
Our women are sacred life givers, and we need to respect their bodies, our bodies, in that way.
The event was co-organized by the Soboba Women's Group and attracted both local and national advocacy groups that focus on domestic violence and sexual assault prevention.
I'm with the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center, which is a National Indian Resource Center that was legislatively created by Congress and the President in December of 2010. As the National Indian Resource Center dedicated to addressing the safety of Native women, we are committed to enhancing Native women's safety across tribal communities from Alaska to Florida, by restoring tribal sovereignty, and those two are inextricable. You can't take them apart. A lot of the work happening across tribal communities is really about looking to local problem solving and local solutions, and how the local tribal governments can respond in ways that are based on their customs and traditions, which are reflective of respecting women, reflective of nonviolence, reflective of all that Native people know today and have known always, that violence against Native women is not what it means to be a Native person.
CASA is our local rape crisis center. We serve Hemet, Sanasino, Anza, Awanga, Idlewild, and our role is to serve survivors of sexual violence, as well as be out in the community working to prevent sexual violence. So we do prevention, awareness, and then actual services for survivors.
The national statistics, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, include really high rates of sexual assault and domestic violence. So I want to say, I think it's like 1 in 3 Native women will be raped in their lifetime, and that's reported. And I think it's 6 in 8 or 6 in 9 will be assaulted in their lifetime, and that's reported again. The challenge with those statistics is that the reality is, in most tribal communities, most women, if not all women, are raped and assaulted. And for Native women, it's really not a question of whether or not they will be assaulted, it's a question of when and how many times.
First of all, it's wonderful to see all the people come out and to walk and to really say, we're saying no to this. We're standing up and we're speaking out and we're saying no to sexual violence.
It has bonded us to, we are close like sisters now, and so we could say anything we want, but we all know the struggle, and so we are here and we don't give up.
I'm just very proud of her. I love her, and I support all the things she does for the reses, for the women, and I'm just proud to have a strong mother.
A change is coming. A change is coming, and this is the beginning for that change to come. Our voices are going to be heard. Things are going to be set in place. for hopefully for a domino effect for other reservations to follow. And that's what our future's for. That's what my goal in this walk, in this life is for.